Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another wonderful session of our fortnightly series, Reflections, Stories to Recharge and Rejuvenate, where in every session we have a special speaker who shares some interesting stories from their lives and which has got some really inspiring message and something we can take and include in our lives as well to transform our lives. And today I am very happy and privileged to welcome May Ip. So, hearty warm welcome, May. May, originally from Hong Kong, has been in Australia for the past 23 years and has been practicing and teaching Raj Yoga meditation for the past 20 years. May has lived in the Brahma Kumari's Meditation Center in Sydney and also in the Retreat Center in Leura. May enjoys silence and the beauty of nature and going for long walks, as I know her. And the topic for today is My Life, My Fortune. Each one of us goes through fortunes and misfortunes in our lives. So May is going to share a story of how challenges in our lives can become blessings. So really eager to know what happened and how did you change challenges into blessings, May. So over to you and welcome once again.
Thank you, Lataben. Thank you very much. And Om Shanti and good evening, everyone. The Om Shanti is a greeting of peace. And so I'm very happy to share my story today on my life, my fortune. So it happened over 10 years ago. It came kind of like as a surprise for me. The fact that I was diagnosed with cancer. So it came as a surprise because I was relatively younger at that time. I thought I was living a healthy lifestyle while I was meditating. I'm still meditating, and I have been a vegetarian. And I thought, actually, I thought I have a feeling I may have cancer later on in life, but probably not at that time. So it came as a surprise. But what happened then in the next year or so was actually a very different experience for me. Because for one thing, I stopped working. I was, at that time, I was working in quite a hectic office environment, and everything was supposed to have been done yesterday. It was just the nature of the business. So I was pretty stressed, and probably my ability to deal with stress was not as good as the others maybe. But I remember just before I was diagnosed, there were a few episodes that was extremely, extremely stressful. One was I was trying to finish a project, and I was working extremely, extremely long hours, which ever since I became a BK, we call ourselves BK, Brahma Kumaris and Kumaris, I've actually stopped working those hours. But it was at that time that something happened, and I thought, okay, I have to go back to those crazy hours, but once I finish the project, then I'll go back to normal. But I think that was one of the triggers. And also I moved from the main center, which was at Ashfield, to a smaller center. And that move was also a little bit hectic. So I think these two things triggered. But the thing was, why I felt that it was kind of like a fortune in a way, because it may be surprising to some. Why would you say that to go through a major illness is a challenge, is a fortune? The reason being, what I encountered was actually, I'd say, not quite what I expected. So for one thing, there was so much blessings from our fellow meditators, the BK family, lots of good wishes, and also another amazing thing was I spent a lot of time in remembrance or in meditation because I stopped working at that time, and every time when I came out of meditation, it was kind of like I felt that everything is going to be fine. Everything is going to be fine. And I was just under this immense canopy of protection. And so it was kind of like, and everything happened very smoothly for me. Like I went through, because that was a while ago, so I went through like the conventional treatments. I had my surgery, chemo and radiation. But along side by side, I also did some remedial treatments as well. So that helped. And it's just that whoever I met, whether it was my GP, my surgeon, oncologist, everyone was so kind and helpful. And I asked myself because at the beginning I was quite confused and I wasn't sure what to do. So I postponed my surgery twice. Um, sorry. So I postponed my surgery twice until my surgeon said to me, if you postpone again, she would not operate on me. She said she had never said this to her patients, but I was just trying to go the alternative way. But at the end, I felt that it wasn't quite working. But like I had almost zero complications with, it took almost 1 year for everything to settle, but that year was like a holiday for me. So, and I asked myself, um, why would some people, they felt that it was so challenging? And I feel that it was the outlook, my outlook, or how, because I would just be receiving so much kindness, so much care from everyone. And I also was more kind to myself, more caring for myself. Because if I don't care for myself, then other people will have to look after me. And so, and I think that was the when I opened myself to that generosity and that kindness from others, then I received that. And because for a long time, although like I look after people, but I have this habit of being independent. I would prefer that I look after others rather than having others to look after myself. But at that time, I just let go. If I need help, help was actually in abundance. So, and it's just a matter of when I was ready to get that help and accept that generosity and love. And that was actually why I feel that it was a blessing, in a way, a fortune, because it really helped me to see things from the other side. Actually, I've also I had conversations with, I met people in the hospital when we were waiting for treatments, and most of the times, those who had a positive outlook, everything was fine for them. Everything ran smoothly. Although, of course, there were little hiccups, but like um, that unlimited outlook and seeing the big picture helped us who kind of like was kind of like determined to get over this. I've also met others who were a little bit, asking why me, a bit negative. Um, I did what I could to help, and it's just, but there was a difference. There was a difference in our outlook and in the outcome. And because I received so much help and good wishes, especially at the beginning, like maybe I registered myself with some other organizations. I couldn't remember, but I remember people would call me, and I didn't know them, but they were just sharing their experience of what to be mindful of and all that. And I appreciate their generosity, their kindness, their time. And so, and what I learned was that I reciprocate, it, um, so I'm happy to share my experience with others because I think most of us understand that, okay, well, whatever comes, there must be something that I could learn from it. But more importantly, the fact that um, helping others or whatever others needs then is really, when we give at a time of need, is very, very much appreciated. So um, we're all different. We all have different experiences, but whatever we can share, we can help, then there's always benefit on both sides. So, and whether it is half full, is half empty, is really up to me. So it's my life, and how I see myself coming out of the situation is entirely up to me. And whatever is in my mind, then I manifest. So I'm very, very, very lucky in that sense because, as I said, everything happened smoothly. And uh, well, actually, I think um, when I was um, first not sure whether to go through chemo and radiation and all that, um, you hear different stories. Some would say yes, some would say no, whatever, whatever, and it it could be confusing. But the thing is, because one of our fortune is because when we meditate, our mind becomes clearer, and our, what we call, our catching power is also stronger. Our discrimination is better. Our discerning power is better. And so, yes, there were uncertainties, but I could just, because of that um, feeling of protection and that learning to let go at that time, whatever I was holding on, that may be a reason why I had the diagnosis, or for whatever reason, I didn't know, but I knew that it was time for me to learn something and to settle something, or otherwise, it it may be a much more difficult journey. But it was easy. I wouldn't say that I welcome it, of course, but it is something that, oh well, it happened. So what do I make the most out of the situation? Yeah. So um, and so now when people say that, oh, that this has happened, that has happened to them, I just give lots of good wishes and share my experience. But um, I think really, really to realize how fortunate we are that no matter what happens, there's protection. As long as I'm open to receive and get that connection with the Supreme. So, as I mentioned before, because our practice is we meditate each day, and also we have our spiritual class each morning, and that's our sustenance. So that helped a lot. And of course, because I have been on holidays for that over 10 years now. So on holidays, in the sense that I had early retirement. And so in a way, my stress level is a lot less. And that's also my fortune as well. So, and sometimes people ask me, and every now and then they would say to me, what happens if, the cancer comes back? Um, I wouldn't say that I have not thought of that, to be honest, because it's something that's in the background. Because I remember I asked my surgeon soon after surgery, I said, what's happened? What's going to happen now? And she was so good. She said, oh, you know, having cancer is like having high blood pressure. You just have to be a bit more careful. And so, yeah, and it's up to me, having, we follow a vegetarian diet, which is in a way helpful, but also more to that, just be careful with whatever we eat, because we are what we eat, but also there are certain things that would trigger um, um, some have major consequences. And there's no need for me to go into details. There's so much that we can Google on these days. But really, I think for me, I I'm careful with my my diet, with my exercise, and all that, and that's all. And with my meditation, remembrance, yoga, whatever you call that, which is the major part of our life. And if something happens, well, I've done my best. So, and with that outlook, really honestly, if something, if something happens to me, I'm honestly will just, okay, whatever happens, let's deal with it, because there's no time for question or anything like that. So questioning why this happens to me. So yeah, our fortune is definitely in our hands, and our connection with the Supreme, and it's amazing. It's amazing not only in times of need, because, well, say for example, I before I came to this knowledge, um, when there was a need, I would pray to God. So before exams or something, or if I need something, that's how I was brought up with. Um, but then coming to this knowledge, understanding that the Supreme is actually our companion. And I think one time I shared that, when I go for a walk, I don't go alone. Like I have this invisible friend with me. So, and having that constant companionship is really, really, so comforting. And just being under that canopy of protection is immense comfort.
Wonderful, wonderful. Firstly, I think I would like to thank you, May, for being so brave and openly sharing your story, which is really inspiring. Sometimes hiding that inside itself uh, may create a little, uh, you know, keeping it inside.
Mm.
Yeah. So I just, when I was listening to your story, just a thought came up. I mean, one of the beautiful things that you said, that everyone around you were, very kind and helpful and supportive and caring. But
Mm.
sometimes we see that in such situations, though someone's ready to give, we are not open to accept it. So
Mm.
it takes a while. So, uh, were you naturally open to receiving that love and support, or Did it take a while for you? And like, what did you think or what did you do to be ready to accept that blessings from everyone?
Mm. Well,
Could you
actually,
share some thoughts?
yeah, sure. At the beginning, I wasn't quite open, actually. You know, when I heard of when I heard the news, I was thinking, how am I going to tell my family and my friends? Shall I say, shall I not say? You know, because I think maybe out of our good heart, we don't want to worry about other people. And so that's why, you know, and because my family members, they're mostly in Hong Kong, and I have been living independently for a long time, so they know I'm doing well. But you know, and I've been quite healthy all my life as well. So I just didn't want to give this as a shock to them. But then I thought, oh well, I'm going to have to deal with this for a while. If I hide this from them, it's going to be, it's going to actually add a burden to me. And so that was my first thought. But then, yeah, opening our hearts to others to receive, that's also something that I learned along the way as well. But there was a time when I really needed help. So, and I think from then on that I thought, okay, just because others are there to help me, why do I have to maintain, you know, this brave face, or oh no, I can manage, you know, that's in a way that's part of ego. So when others are happy to help, and it's part of, you know, it's more or less like I cooperate with others and then others help. So and and in that way it's easier rather than having this internal fight, or sometimes when we reject others it's also not a very good thing as well. Yeah. And then when I really needed to, then help won't come.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, May. That's wonderful. Someone on the chat is asking, sorry, I came in late. Why were you in hospital? So, uh, yeah,
All right. Shall I answer? Do we
yeah,
have
sure,
that?
sure.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So I was diagnosed about over 10 years ago with breast cancer, and so there was the mention of, you know, having to go through surgery and those conventional treatments, because that was quite a while ago. Maybe nowadays treatments would be different. Yeah.
And you did mention about how meditation helped you through in that journey.
Yes,
So,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah. So, could I request you to lead us into a bit of meditation for a few minutes? So
Sure.
we all can have an experience of how it feels.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. So if we just sit relaxed, but sit alert. And in every meditation, we gently focus our attention in the center of our forehead. I see myself as a sparkling point of eternal light. And when I'm ready, I travel upwards and feel the presence of the Supreme Soul, the love and care of my eternal parent. The Supreme Soul is always there for me. It's up to me to make that connection with the Supreme. And when I'm under that love and protection of my companion, I have the strength and courage to face all situations, whether they are physical situations or maybe emotional challenges. In fact, the Supreme's love will help me go through all situations. And I feel the love and protection in an unlimited way. Om Shanti. Om, I am Shanti, peace.
Thank you so much, May. It was really inspiring to know that how a health issue can be turned into a blessing if I take it in a positive way and say I'm going to learn out of it and move forward in life. So that was really inspiring, and thank you so much for sharing your story with us today.
My pleasure.
I think it's a real need of the time today as well, with the world in a different situation and everyone going through so many health issues. So it was really, really helpful. And to our online viewers, I would like to mention that if you would like to know more about the Brahma Kumaris, please do visit our website www.brahmakumaris.org.au. And if you would like to listen to these stories again, so it's available on YouTube. So you could visit the link again, and you will find the recorded session there to watch anytime later as well. So thank you once again for joining in today, and we'll meet you again after 2 weeks, that is on 27th of December at the same time. Till then, take care and Om Shanti.
Bye.